Okay, looks like we're live. Hello, good morning, and good evening, everyone, depending on where you are joining us from today. So feel free to use the comment section to tell us where you are joining. So this is Sololearn's webinar about how to make AI work for you. And we are so happy to see so many of you here and super active in the channel already. So this is great, and we hope that we are all going to have a very productive 1 hour ahead. So with that, I will go ahead and present the speakers that we have for today. So we have our CEO and co-founder Yeva today with the head of curriculum Juan. They will be telling us a lot about the AI and how it is like going to change the work environment that we have today. Later during the webinar, we will have Anete, who is one of our curriculum developers. She will be joining us for the course demo, which is going to be very exciting. And I'm going to be the host for the webinar today, so I'm Meri. With that, let's get to some housekeeping stuff. So feel free to use the comment section for any questions that you guys have. We will be addressing those towards the end of the webinar. So just make sure that you don't repeat the same question. We see those. And we will be addressing the ones that are like burning questions and demanded by many of you. We don't have captions available right now. Those will be up when the video is in YouTube, saved in YouTube later after the webinar ends. And I guess that's mainly it. So let's just see how this goes. So with that, let's talk a little bit about the agenda. So we will be talking about a little bit about Sololearn. I know some of you know about Sololearn, but for those of you who are new, we will be talking about why Sololearn and why AI and what's new here, and why is it so exciting for us. We will be next tackling some of your concerns, because we had some of your questions in the webinar registration form, and we want to address your concerns and stuff. Then we will move to the course demo. And afterwards, we will be answering your questions. So with that, I will ask Yeva to maybe give us a little bit of an overview of how Sololearn decided to work on the AI world.
Yeah, thanks, Meri. And it's great to be here, and thank you, everyone, for your time. So Sololearn has always been about teaching the most demanded tech skills, and that's how we got into coding in the first place. And with AI rapidly entering our lives, I mean, that seems like a natural kind of extension of our current offerings. But it took us some time to actually figure out, what to build and how to build it, I think, was the big question on the table. Because when ChatGPT was first released, the first reaction was, well, nobody needed a course to teach Google search. Yeah, why would you to learn AI? It's super intuitive. You go there, you ask a question, and you get a response. It was only after we started extensively using AI for our own internal kind of projects and needs that we realized, oh my God, there is so much out there. And it was like eureka, it's all about the use cases, both the use cases that you currently have and you use you do your daily tasks, but it's also about discovering the new use cases, which was the most exciting part. And then the challenge was, how do you make sure that you use AI to produce the outcome that you actually need? And I just remember our conversation with Juan, because when AI was very new, we were like, should we make a course on it? But then we were like, no, there is nothing to really teach. But then there was we have all these use cases and it's not that straightforward anymore. So what I'm trying to say here is, in this course, we kind of teach what we preach. And we learn a lot throughout the process as well, as we also enrich, the way we do things internally. And also our format was perfect for this new course, because AI is not about theory. AI is about doing. And by just, learn by doing is the thing that we have been focused on a very long time, and and teaching on real life cases. So you'll see a lot of that in the course. So with that, I mean, this is a very exciting time for us. We have been just waiting for this moment, we've got a lot of emotions, and yeah. So I guess that's for a start. We'll talk about more specifics later.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you very much for sharing. And yeah, we actually also asked our audience before the webinar what are some of their concerns, their use cases, like how do they think about AI? And that's what I want us to talk about next a little bit. So a lot of the worries about this topic was mainly about the fear of AI to take their job. So since this has also touched me personally, and I have also had those thoughts, I thought this is the perfect time to ask, do you guys think I'm going to lose my job? Yeva, Juan?
I can make a start. Hello, everyone. So I think something that we all need to understand is how fast AI is moving. There is only like one single thing that we all need to know about AI. That is how fast it's progressing. And that is something that makes us as humans feel very uncomfortable because we are not good with change. And on top of this change, we also have many concerns because these technologies are near, moving fast, and that many things that we're not ready for, and we're going to need to adjust. So we're talking about people having like job security concerns, but also the ethical concerns about AI. That's another type of fear that people having fear of like security. There are real concerns about this technology. I think these concerns they're gonna go away with time. I think part of it is gonna be fixed with regulations, like organizations, countries, governments. They're gonna have to react to this, and this is gonna be part of it. Is gonna be fixed with regulations and policies. There is another big part of this that is gonna be solved with the companies making AI, making these tools safer for everyone to use as well. So that's going to reduce some concerns. And I think there is a lot that we can do as individuals as well to reduce some of these fears and risks. So AI is here to stay, like whether we like it or not, this is the world we live in. And I think the only thing we can do is adjust, adapt to it. And so I think it's only by better understanding AI, what AI can do, what AI cannot do, what to expect from AI, what not to expect from AI, what task to delegate to AI, which task like not to delegate to AI, how to reduce those hallucinations that AI sometimes do. By learning more and understanding better, we can also make better informed decisions. And I think we have fear about the AI because it's something new, but I think they're gonna go away with time. What do you think, Yeva?
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like I was thinking, about it like some time ago, and I don't think there will be less jobs or there will be less work to do. Just think about all the projects that you wanted to do, but you couldn't because there was no time or there was no resource, right? Or think about, all the product releases we wanted to do in addition to what we have done just due to lack of resource. Or, sometimes we have all these great ideas that if there were the right tools, if we knew a little bit of design or if we knew a little bit of programming, we could kind of, bring them to life. So I think there will be more products and more services, and more new experiences than seen before. And that's what happens with every technological revolution, right? I think the challenge here is more how fast we can adjust so we can be at the forefront of that revolution. So there will be more jobs and maybe they will be a little different. But if you think about it like from a positive kind of side of things, just imagine, you were doing this specialized thing as a developer or as a designer or as a marketer. This tool today allows you to kind of be in charge of a whole new thing. You can run a project on your own end to end. All you need to know is kind of, like the principles of design, the principles of programming, the principles of, marketing, but it gives you an opportunity to kind of, build an end-to-end thing and test it, like, without attracting, like without bringing a lot of people or without attracting additional funding. So in terms of possibilities, I think it's pretty incredible, like how much you can do with it. But it's not things will change. But then there is another positive thing that learning new things has become easier than ever before. So now you can use the new technology, AI, to teach you things as well. Like, it's not the only source, obviously, yet. We're not there yet, but it can help you, just like I was like witnessing an interesting experience the other day. Like, there are charts that kind of talk to you. So if you had to go through the whole kind of, data literacy training and then do a lot of kind of data acquiring and, just to be able to make database decisions, today it's much, much easier, So you'll get the insights right away. All you need is to understand the insights and apply it for whatever goal you have. So whether we like it or not, as Juan said, the technology is here to stay. Unfortunately, we cannot control that part. But I think if we think positively and if we work towards embracing the technology, we'll see great benefits and kind of nobody will be left without a job in the long term. So that's my take on it.
Okay, so looks like me and the rest of the guys worried should not be that worried. We are just gonna do something that is more interesting, maybe like more creative, and just delegate some of the stuff to the AI. So as long as we feel secure, I guess we can talk next a little bit more about like how do we see those like work dynamics changing based on AI with the AI. So how is the future of work gonna look like? The team dynamics, like efficiency of the work, this kind of stuff. If you can just give us a little bit of your insights there.
Yeah, maybe I can start.
Yeva, yes.
Okay, I'll go. So yeah, I mean, we also kind of the articles about the next $1 billion company will be built by just one individual. I don't think we're there yet right now, but for me, the prospects of kind of executing and kind of publishing all your kind of great ideas that you have, and you're just kind of in today's reality, we can't even dream, that every thought that comes to our mind can kind of, become a reality and we can serve it to the world. I think will give rise to entrepreneurship, and pretty much each of us, it can be a very small business, it can be a very big business, but I think all of us have an opportunity to build things that we really love and where we can make an impact. I think that's also very important because like it takes a lot of effort today. Even it's much easier today as compared to 100 years ago, but still it takes a lot of effort to build and test an idea. I think that change, like what that change can bring, in the AI era, is kind of rise to entrepreneurship, and and also that means many more great ideas will be implemented, and we will be living in a much better world as a result of it. So that's one trend I'm seeing. Another trend I'm seeing is I think there will be a shift from being a narrow specialist to a more like being generalist. So instead of kind of, there will be specialists. So, like good developers will still do development, like great designers will need to design. But overall, I feel that, like things like strategic thinking, project management, ability to like basically manage a multitude of AI assistants that we'll get over time, I think those will be very important skills as well. And then something that has been kind of very important throughout the history of humankind is creativity. And like that's another thing, kind of, basically, there is so much we can do with the new technology, and that has always been, the differentiation of like humans from everything else. So I don't know, like I understand the risks, but I'm also very excited at the same time. So Juan,
I like to think, I like to make analogies between like employees and people when they are free, like people having like personal lives. I think if you think about it, AI is not something completely new. We had AI for a while. Your life is already AI assisted. Like Netflix is recommending you movies, and you have Alexa, Siri, Google Maps navigation, like all that is already part of your life. You cannot live without that. I think what is starting to happen now is that AI is also coming to your workplace, and it's coming to your workplace to change the way you work, to change how you do some tasks. But I'm not concerned about, like we were discussing, like people concerned about losing jobs and all that before. Like I think it's gonna come to your job to make you more productive. And I think what you said about people starting companies and all that, I fully support that as well. I think what is going to happen is you are gonna maybe have the role of like a manager of many assistants that they're gonna be doing job for you, work for you, that you will have to manage, coordinate, task with different things, and you're gonna have to supervise what they're doing as well. So that's the way I envision AI supporting people in the workplace.
That's actually
That's a very good way of putting it, actually. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, it's interesting. So we can just think of it that it came from the Netflix and all the other areas to our workplace now. Okay, that makes sense. And I think we are like okay with the idea and we understood it now. So, and as I also read in the comments right now, what are some actual like how do we start this? So okay, we know that this is important, we understand. What are some practical tips that you can give our audience, like how to get started on this? Juan?
I can make a start, yeah. So it is really hard. I think we need to acknowledge the fact that it's really overwhelming. So it's moving fast, as we said, and new tools, new apps are coming up every single day. So it's really, really hard to know where to start. I think my advice is start using it, like get your head around it, start using the tools. It's true that sometimes you need also some like support, some learning, like learning needs to happen. Some of these tools, they will benefit from you understanding how these models, they work under the hood a bit, or at least being a proficient user. So when you go and look for courses, that many alternatives out there. I have been, for the past couple of months, I have been auditing, like testing many alternatives. And I think an advice that I have is look for a course that is active, a course where you're going to be using AI, you're going to be learning with AI, like by playing with AI. The learning is super active, so it's based on activities. You're going to be completing work, not watching like passive videos. And if you have to look for a course, that would be like my recommendation, like active. Also that, for example, something that I think is very valuable as well is most of the courses we have been auditing, they have some videos, some reading materials, but they send you outside to a different platform to use the tools. That means that you need to get your own account, you need to pay maybe for the access to that tool. And that's also distracting because you need to be in the learning experience, but also you need to have another browser tab open using the tool. So there is no real connection between the learning experience and the actual tool that you want to learn. So looking also for a solution that is integrating the use of the tool within the experience. Yeva, what do you think about how to get started?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think another way of getting started is just, to use the tools themselves. And also kind of keep thinking about what else you can kind of do with it, because I think that's the part where, like, that's the creativity part, because some applications are very straightforward. Like it can help you with copywriting, right? But then there are things that you can kind of leverage the technology for that you probably haven't thought of. So for each and every task you do, in your daily lives, be it for work or be it for personal reasons, I find that thinking about, can I use this technology to do it faster, better, or, just get better results has helped me a lot. I personally have my own goals, I'm just kind of, I've made a goal of let's try a new thing, kind of every week. Yeah, so that's how you get better at anything, basically by playing with the tools and just trying them. I don't think there is a better way to learn. So
Yeah.
interactivity is kind of number one advice in any case.
Yeah, that's a good note actually, that like you need to kind of even push yourself to do some of these things, because we are so lazy as human beings that we don't even want to do it. So sometimes you need to push yourself from one product to the other to try this thing or the other thing. So maybe you guys can also like give us a hint of some of these like overwhelming different products that we have here. Like what can we use for which purposes? Like a little bit of information about this. Like Juan, if you want to give us a little info.
On how we have been using these tools, or some tips on using these tools. Is that the
Yeah,
question?
like what we can use, for example, like if we want to do, I don't know, image generation, how we can, like which
Yep.
products would we use and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we something that we can go in detail is how we have been using internally. So, for example, in the curriculum team, we have already been using these tools to move a bit faster. It is, I wouldn't say that we have automation at the moment, but I don't think automation is always the goal when using AI. I think there is automation and augmentation. And I think that's what we have been doing with AI for the past almost like a couple of years, year and a half now, something like that. So it's really helping us to move faster. So we use it when it comes to content creation, for brainstorming. So like any Gen AI model, any large language model, take like GPT from OpenAI, ChatGPT,
Mhm.
it's a great brainstorming partner. And it's really, really good to give you ideas. Like when you don't know where to start, like just to get some ideas, they could be crazy ideas. That's what you want at the brainstorming phase, right? Like rule number one of brainstorming, there are no bad ideas. So ChatGPT is really good at that. It's also really good as a writing partner, particularly to overcome the writer's block. So something that we do in the curriculum team is writing content and sometimes making a start, like facing that empty, like canvas, empty document that you need to populate with words, is really, really like challenging. So using it to generate a first draft is something that can be done as well. And it doesn't mean that whatever ChatGPT or any other large language model is going to give you can be used like 100%. You need to iterate on it. You really need to change some things. You need to make it your own. But that's something that you can use these technologies for. We have been using tools like Midjourney and DALI as well. These tools, they focus on generating images. It's really good to make a start. Again, the way we use it is to make a start. We use these tools for inspiration as a first draft. And we found that that already is helping us a lot because we spent most of the time on that ideation phase, drafting phase. So it's helping us a lot already. So not sure if that's fully answering your question, but like as a recap, things we have been tools that we have been using is OpenAI models, like GPT models, as large language models, but also image generators like DALI and Midjourney as well,
Yep.
for like
Yeah,
brainstorming.
it does answer. Thank you so much. And I also wanted you guys, maybe you can mention also the translations that we're doing in Sololearn. Yev, maybe you want to talk about those because that's also
Yeah,
pretty exciting.
translations is something that we have wanted to do for kind of years. And like in the beginning of the journey, we kind of localized our courses into Spanish and Russian. And then it stopped because we never could find time, to translate to other languages. And we've been kind of including it in every quarter's roadmap. So there was translation somewhere in the end. And we were able to kind of localize the whole app and every course that we have in 3 more languages, I guess. Meri, was it 3 more? In a matter
Yes,
of weeks.
French,
So
German, and Portuguese.
French, German, and Portuguese, exactly. So I think that shows the kind of the pace of change and how you can accelerate very simple things. Because before you would go, hire an agency probably, or you had to have, dedicated resource, because one thing is translation, then somebody needs to proofread it, and then somebody needs to localize it for a specific location. It becomes many, many, many times faster with like technology like AI, and the kind of, the LLMs are really good working with text, and so those things are kind of come out of a much better quality. But there are many other use cases we use AI internally, Meri. Like we use it for marketing ads, for example, Midjourney, so saving a lot of precious designer time. And we have our learning assistant. You've probably seen coding, whoever has ever learned on Sololearn. Hopefully it's getting smarter. We're working on making it smarter, and we think it will kind of, just be at like almost 100% accuracy at some point, but it's good enough and it helps. So, and I think I'm missing, like, there are so many use cases, like our engineers use AI, and it saves them precious time, not just writing lines of code that can be delegated. So we all get a lot of time back that we can spend on more strategic, or, like more creative, and, like on thinking and brainstorming and ideating. And I think that's a great thing. We all want to do meaningful work.
Definitely. Yeah, and as a PM, I can also share that I use AI quite a lot when I'm writing stuff, because that's what I do a lot of the times. So whenever you need to paraphrase something or put it in a better format, or you want a summary of something, just because you don't have time to go over the whole thing, you just ask the AI to summarize it. Yeah, of course, as in any other use case of the AI, you need to take it with a pinch of salt, because the results may not be super accurate, but I guess as Juan said, like we need to be cautious of like what it gives us back, but like it can definitely be useful if we use it wisely. So thank you very much. I think this kind of naturally brings us to like when Juan was saying, like we need to have everything in one platform, very active, very fun format, so people can actually, like, they don't spend extra effort on learning. This brings us to the product that we have today, to the AI course launch, and I guess it's the perfect time to show the course, actually. So for that,
exciting part.
Yeah. I guess this is what everyone has been looking for. So yeah, let's bring Anete for the demo, and Yeva, we will have you back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, before we start with the demo, something that I wanna say is that, like, we have been thinking, as Yeva said at the very beginning, we have been thinking for a while, should we make a course around this or not? So it was clear after doing some research that it was a need for this, for a course like this. We have been auditing, we have been testing many courses out there, and we found that AI needs to be broken down, it needs to be made simple, and that's what we are good at. And so that's what we're gonna be seeing now, like how we have make AI active in a course, and how people are gonna be able to learn AI using AI. So let me get my screen ready. It's gonna take me a second because I need to get my phone. I'm gonna do it on my phone. As everyone knows, we have Sololearn. You can learn on the web. You can also learn on iOS and on Android. So I'm gonna be showing on how it looks on my phone today. So yes, a second.
Perfect. Looking forward to that. Okay, in the meantime, Anete, maybe if you want to say hi before Juan puts the screen up.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Just, I guess talk with all of you all about the new course and what we've been building behind the scenes. And I think, a lot of the questions that I've seen in the chat pop out will be at least partially answered by looking at what the course will cover and what sort of is our focus on our first AI course. The future, may show more.
Yeah, we have seen like how. Yes, we saw your screen. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we have seen how much effort our curriculum team has put into this course. So let's see what it is.
I'm excited.
That's great. So we had a lot of fun putting this course together. and we can wait for you all to learn with this course. So thank you, Annette, for joining us for this demo. So here we can see a bit of the content of the course. We can see that we have lessons, like some lessons, some quizzes. So a question that I have for you, Annette, is well, we were discussing this when we were planning to create a course around AI. Is this course going to be about generative AI?
Well, yes, of course, that is the title of the course, but not only. I think we will start with generative AI. We're going to, of course, explain what this term is if you're not that familiar with it. But we're also going to go on sort of behind the scenes of what makes generative AI. What is a large language model? What is ML? All the technologies building up on it. And then we're going to sort of use this knowledge, use this sort of starting point of AI potentially, if you have never really used it before, to go deeper into other important topics, like how can you use AI for automation, or what are maybe some of its limitations and ethical concerns that are associated with the use of AI and sort of a learning process. So yes, it's going to be about generative AI. We're going to start right there, but we're going to actually take you a bit farther than that and give you sort of like a view of the whole AI landscape and what is out there.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you, Annette. So I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that Gen AI is not only the most recent wave of AI, but it's also the more accessible one. So it makes sense to start with that. Let's have a look at the content of a couple of lessons. And maybe as I go through some screens, you can maybe explain how learners are going to be learning this content.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. So this is our welcome page. It probably every course would have some. And already some nice visualizations in the first lesson. So as if you are familiar with Sololearn, or if you're not, what we take pride in, is the bite-sized learning, making sure that we just get you to do things at the, in this case, in the second page. Here we have our AI chat where we can ask the AI to generate us a cool nickname. We have here a little bit of information about what is generative AI, and then we can use it. So for example, if we ask AI to generate a nickname, if our name would be Sololearn and we would like coding and pizza, our nickname could be Codiza. Is that how you would pronounce it? Something like that.
So.
Or we could import something different in and get a different response.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to do that?
So, and this is what, yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier. So you're going to be able to learn AI using AI. So we have this playground integrated within the lesson. You don't need to go outside. You don't need to go to ChatGPT. You don't need to go to any other tools to try these tools, to try this technology for text generation, for image generation. So it's all integrated for you already. You don't need to create an account. You don't need to pay extra to get a subscription. You can generate outputs from generative AI within the course.
Here we can see now the second page of the course. And again, we'll go through, some piece of information if you're familiar how Sololearns. And here we have a select. Oh, but Juan has got it wrong. Actually, the answer to this question was something else. So what type of AI would you use to create art for a music album cover? I think that would rather be image generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got it right. And I got it wrong. So yeah, this is another example of an activity that you can complete, and it's image select. Maybe we can see another couple of examples of activities.
This one is, again, an AI chat one where we can generate images. As the team said, that we like to, use Midjourney or DALL-E to create marketing materials, but we could also just have some fun and create cats with hats. That's what I would prefer to use AI for.
Definitely.
And again,
some single select questions, right? Just gonna keep scrolling so we can see some more activities. So single select. So you're gonna be learning by answering questions, by playing with the playground, by interacting with puzzles as well. Another example of text generation. Maybe something we can discuss here. We can go a bit deeper into the comments, Anette.
The what? Could you repeat that? Oh, the comments. Yeah. Oh, so, if you are familiar with Sololearn, you probably know about the amazing community, and probably you feel it in the chat. How many people have joined us live, commenting, sharing their experiences? That I think that's one of the amazing things about Sololearn. You're not going to be learning alone. You can go to the comments for all the lesson pages. There you can chat with people who are doing the course at the same time as you, or maybe earlier. Maybe they have tips and tricks about something, and you can share your journey. You can share maybe if something's not working or if you're not understanding. There's always going to be people who'll be willing to help you. So you're not alone. There's going to be hundreds and thousands of people learning and being in the comments, willing to help you. So I think that's one of the amazing things that we have here at Sololearn, the community.
Great. So after seeing some social learning into action, let's go to the course. So another example.
Very interactive. I think, that this is one of the only learning platforms where I've seen where every single page that we've shown you have a interaction with it. It's really hands-on learning, so trying to optimize many things that we know about how people learn. We're putting things in practice, and I really like the message of this page. Anyone can learn Gen AI, and I think that's what this course is going to be about.
Definitely. Just going through the lessons. So this was the content of one lesson.
We've done our first lesson. How did that feel? I think that was pretty easy.
We can have a look
pretty
at the second
easy
one.
And fun to go through. So
that is true.
An example of another one. So active learning by doing. Pretty much every lesson page, every screen has an interaction.
Yeah, so you actually need the visuals to be able to answer the question. So that's a part of your learning. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Do you pay attention to everything that's on the page? We are trying to use all we have, different ways of learning. If everything is just black and white and just text, that's not really working.
Yeah, for example, here we see the probabilities of how likely it is to get aboard.
Indeed. So you will understand actually how why generative AI works. Why is it doing something? How is it doing? It's not magic behind it. It's not also somebody's a human responding and knowing. It's AI is more probabilistic, and that's what you will discover when you're doing this course. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So those are, I think, this is the couple of lessons, and you can see that we keep sort of building on the knowledge we had. So here now we allow you to do some settings on the AI chat. So you learn more and more about how to use these tools as you go throughout the course. And it's all very bite-sized. And if you get stuck, you know where to go, to comments, to the community.
Yeah, and a question here, like this temperature, for example, like these settings, if I go to just the ChatGPT, I don't see it. So what are you guys here explaining to the users? This is different from what I see in ChatGPT.
Totally. So here we're going a bit deeper with what a large language model can do and how you can customize it a bit to cover your needs. So we are introducing a parameter that all large language models have. Not many applications make it like visible, but behind the scenes, this is what happens. So you can actually influence how creative or random your replies are. So you can control this parameter within the app as well. And so that's something that it's learners can also do within the app. And a question for Anete, maybe you can tell us a bit more about the models that people can also try, different models within the app.
Yeah, so here we currently only see two models so far. We've seen text generation, which is the OpenAI ChatGPT models, and we also seen image generation, which would be DALL-E behind in our app. But we continuously keep on implementing new and new models because there's so many things you can do. You can do text, you can do images, you can do videos. Sora recently came out and they do quite amazing videos. You can do audio. You can create voices, human voices, or music, and for any paradigm of, I guess, content, there are AI tools, and we do plan to integrate more and more of them into our courses.
Okay, so that's in the horizon, coming up at some point.
Indeed. Maybe just to add on the temperature, although maybe in ChatGPT you don't see the temperature, if you do go to Bing to use ChatGPT, it is there. You can say to be more creative or less creative. It's not as precise as we have here, what reality it could be, but it is possible. Same for Gemini. I did see a couple of chats mentioning that we've forgotten Gemini. We have not. We know it. We know it's there. Now we know it's good. And for Gemini, I think you can also say to be more creative or less creative. So it might not be a number that we have here, but it might be a bit more in these open tools that is a bit more user-friendly, I guess.
Yeah, and it looks like the good thing about this course is that you have everything in the same place, because instead of you just going to the Bing, you just have it here.
Yeah, you can stay right here, practice, and then sort of immediately do information recall. Sort of what you've learned or you practice, like a technique you've used to use an AI, then can be sort of made sure that you have cemented it in your memory, that you will keep remembering it. And if you do use a tool outside of our app, you will remember these techniques that we're going to teach.
Okay, very good. I had just one question that came up to me as you are going through the content. Can we emphasize whom specifically is the course for? Is this going to get up until the level that I'm going to learn how these large language models are built, or it is how to use those, just to make that distinction clear?
Yeah, I can make a start. Or you can.
Please go ahead.
I think the answer is that this is our very first course that is aimed at beginners and we do not require any pre-existing knowledge before starting the course. If you have used Sololearn for coding, this is not going to necessarily teach you how to code your own generative AI or AI for that matter. So it is aimed at using generative AI, learning the sort of the AI landscape. But as well as for most things, you can go deeper into more specifics. And if there is, any specific topics that people are interested in, I think we could consider them in future to cover in more depth.
100%. So I would say this course is for everyone curious, interested in knowing more about generative AI in general. As we said, Gen AI is like the easy way to get into AI, because in this course, we're going to be covering some more advanced topics as well, and we're going to be going through the whole AI landscape. So either you have used these tools before or not, you're going to find this course helpful. Starts very basic, so if you haven't used this before, it's accessible to you. If you have used these tools before, you can quickly go through the first couple of lessons, and you will find you will find more challenging, more interesting, more advanced content as well. So as the question you had, Mary, so we are teaching people how to use these tools so they are confident using them, but we are also helping people understand how they work, what's behind them, what to expect from interacting with these tools, how to reduce the chance for hallucination. That's where AI behave. And we also move into more advanced machine learning, deep learning topics as well. So people get to know what classification is, what the clustering is. And we finish the course with some advanced use cases. So we have a lesson on data, so how you can use AI to better understand data, to make better decisions with data, to analyze data. So within the playground, within the AI playground, we have seen you can interrogate a data set that is given for you to make decisions and solve business questions. So we have lessons on using Gen AI on data, on like sales professionals to do forecasting, marketing to do segmentation, targeting, personalization. That's also some lessons that we have. But by the end of it, it gets more advanced. But you can start with.
Yeah, I was thinking like advanced and very practical. So like you can build your own projects around it. Very cool. Thank you guys for presenting. I think that is super nice and very cool. So I am super excited to see what people will think when they try it out. So yes, thank you so much. And let's have Yeva back and we can take some questions from the audience at this point. So yes, let's see what questions we have. Hey, Eva. Okay, I guess the questions will pop up on the screen. Yep, here we have the first one. Will this course be useful for someone who already has a lot of experience using AI tools? Juan, you want to take it?
I can make a start, definitely. So if you have already used AI tools, if you are confident using them, maybe there are some gaps in knowledge that you might have. It's definitely the case for some of my friends. They use these AI tools like every day at work for different reasons. Not everyone really understands how these like systems generate outputs. That's something that we're covering in this course. We're not only teaching people how to use AI tools, it's also understanding the foundations so people are ready. We want to get people ready for whatever comes because we said that things are moving very, very fast. So these tools are gonna continue to evolve by acquiring them, by having solid foundations on how things work. They can easily transfer this knowledge. So I'm sure someone that has used AI tools already is going to find something new in this course.
Perfect. Thank you, Juan. And we have the second question, which is, what are some project ideas would you guys recommend to start off with? Who wants to go?
I guess the answer is any. But I mean, just it's up to you basically, you know, like if there is a dream you have always wanted to bring to life, you know, just think about how you can leverage the tools to do that. For example, I never wrote before. I started writing, and like because you all, like every person has something to say, but you put something on paper and it doesn't sound right, you know. And now you have this assistant that you can kind of, you know, share your ideas with, ask it to change the tone of voice, ask it to say the same thing differently, and your writing improves. So it's not that AI is writing for you, but your writing improves, you know. Or there is another thing that I'm really fascinated about, but I still need to try it. So I'm a terrible designer. Like I cannot draw two kind of, you know, like lines one to like next to another. But I always have these images in my head, you know, and then talking to the designers, you know, it takes kind of, you know, like a lot of explaining and talking to AI and asking for kind of a creative generation, you know, you just also learn how to kind of do that right, you know, because extra words do not matter, right? Or like the way you say things, if you get a bad outcome, then you know you're not kind of. But then what I'm trying to say is you can apply AI for pretty much any idea that you have had. If you're interested in entrepreneurship, I would certainly kind of encourage you to build a prototype using all the tools available today. It's not going to be perfect. I mean, you'll need to iterate, and the art of iteration is super important too. And you need a lot of patience, to iterate as well, so you get the outcome that you were expecting to. But I don't think there are limitations in terms of what you can do. And again, like the outcome will be a little better, a little worse, like depending on where the technology is. But I think you can use the tool for a very broad spectrum of things. So just think about what you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess it depends on what you are interested in and what you want to dive deeper in. Thank you. Next question. What AI tools are best to generate video? How could I create my own AI voice? Oh, sorry, voice.
I think this is a question that Anete can take. She knows about this topic a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the technology changes so fast. So, if you have ChatGPT and you have its app, for example, it can reply you in an AI voice. So the question is, do you want to generate a unique voice that nobody has ever heard before, or do you just want to have maybe a perfectly pronounced voice that maybe sounds like a broadcast? Because I feel like that's what we currently are right now with the technology. That sort of that's where we're at. So I think if you look at any big company, you can probably say like, okay, is there a tool for generating voice? I would say like, yes, I bet Google has one. I bet OpenAI has one. I bet Meta has one. And that is the case. All of these companies have tools that can generate voice. I think, I guess it depends on sort of your level of comfort, how sort of maybe familiar you are with coding, or sort of like using a little bit more abstract tools versus those that just have a UI, and how much voice you need and how much text you need. So I think at the top of my head, I would just say, the tools that I knew from yesterday might have changed by today. So I would say like voice generating, I would just put it in Google, honestly, and you'll have a list of tools and with different levels of pricing. Some of them might be free, but it is possible that those would be less accurate, or you would need a little bit more of tech savviness to get them working. So yeah, it's what do you need it for? Are you making an audiobook? That maybe you need a tool that can create large amounts of audio, because for example, if I would think about the Google one, I think they mostly generate you like 15-second audio clips, and that's limited usability. So yeah, honestly, Google is my best friend if I'm looking for a new tool. But all these big companies have tools, and the ones that were out yesterday, I bet there's a couple of more by today.
Thank you so much. Okay, next. Will there be an AI playground like your code playground within Sololearn outside the actual course lessons? That's an interesting question. Very specific.
Yeah, we are talking about it. Yeah. And we're even thinking of kind of providing the users the opportunity to share their use cases, just as you guys were sharing code snippets, because that makes the experience so much richer. Yeah, I don't have the exact dates, but that's in the plans for sure.
Perfect. Thank you. Next question, please. Should we still learn web development?
I can make a start, maybe.
Yep.
I don't think AI is gonna replace coders like anytime soon. So AI can help. Generative AI can help to explain code if you don't know what a piece of code is doing. If you give a piece of code with a bug, it can help you troubleshoot, find what's wrong with the code sometimes. So it can assist a bit. I think Gen AI is the perfect partner for a developer that wants to be more productive. There are things that you might want to delegate to to Gen AI as a coder. But I don't see any scenario where, like in the next 3, 4, 5 years, that's going to happen, like fully replacing coders. Still, I think you even if you are a coder, you need to learn AI as well, because other coders are going to be faster than you if they use AI. So you need to learn web development and AI. That would be my answer to this question.
Yeah, I would just add that I just as a coincidence, like our web engineers are the most interested in AI, so they're like constantly searching and like finding new solutions based on AI. So I think they go well together anyway. Like even if you are like in coding area, AI is still going to contribute only to your learning.
I think we'll still be building things using code. And I also see kind of, an extra opportunity for non-developers to learn a little bit of coding so they can build their own project. So maybe the learning will be a little different and you don't need to learn the syntax that much, but then understanding the logic of coding will take you a long way, because like as we talked, I mean, you can build the prototype of your great idea by just talking, to the thing, as long as you can identify, if whether the output that you get is right or wrong.
I think that's very important, because the output, right or wrong, the code for whether it's a web browser we're currently using to have this webinar on, will still be written in code, and we will always need people to understand what it is, whether it's for security reasons, whether it's for transparency reasons. We will always need developers, or people, if their role expands just from being a developer, people who understand and can read code or create code, just because you don't want things to become black box and then not be able to ever, I guess, replicate it. We'll never be over relying on AI and things that we don't understand. We'll always need to have understanding.
Okay, thank you. And let's take 2 more questions. So I don't need a qualification of any of these, do I, for any of this, right? Do they need qualification? Juan?
If the question is
prerequisites, probably is the question, right?
I mean, even nowadays, if you would try to get a job as a developer, many companies don't ask for a university degree. So knowledge is more important than qualifications.
Exactly. And yeah, you can build your CV.
By the way, a piece of information to share that may be of interest is, prior to developing this course, we have conducted a number of interviews with, big companies, small companies, medium-sized companies. Every single company we talked to views AI literacy as a must-have skill for every employee they have. So we're already seeing, that kind of obsession with employees being able to use the tools and come up with a new kind of uses of the tools in the workplace. So like that kind of is becoming a must-have. This is very similar to being able to use like Word and Excel, like many, many years ago. But I feel, we're in this kind of times where this skill is gonna take you a long way. And whoever doesn't learn it fast, I think, will stay behind, unfortunately.
So skills over qualifications, like certifications and stuff.
100%.
Perfect. And next one, the last question that we're taking is, when we'll be starting the AI course? I guess this actually brings us to our last section, which we have. So Yev, maybe you can give us an update of when is this course coming? What are the specifics that we need to know?
Yeah, so we're launching our AI kind of, track on April 4th. And the very first kind of, course will be launched on that date. It will be available on every platform. So it will be on Android, it will be on iOS, and it will be on our web version. This subscription model, the existing subscription model doesn't apply, because we look at them as 2 separate things. And we have done a very thorough research, in terms of, what other courses are out there and what they offer, and kind of how we can position ourselves. And we have come up with kind of, we think is the lowest possible cost price, because we're using a lot of kind of, AI in generating, this course for you. And So April 4th is when we launch the course. We are going to have an early bird discount for the first week, prior to the launch date. So if you guys are interested, now is the best time to kind of, just get the course. It will show kind of already in your apps and on your web, but the actual course will be available on the every platform. So that's about it, I guess. I don't know, guys, if I'm missing anything.
I think we have it all. Yep. I think, we covered it all. Sounds good. Just to add here that you can scan the QR code if you want directly to access the course page, and it is live as of right now, the discount, so you can start already buying it. With that, I think we will wrap it up today. Thank you everyone for joining. This is the first time we're doing it in this format. So feel free to leave us your comments, write it in Sololearn at info@sololearn.com. We're so very happy to hear your feedback about the webinar format. And also if you had any questions in the comment section that didn't get answered and you want the answers to those, feel free to let us know. And I guess that was all. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.